have it already.
Yeah, it's live.
Customization, redirect, and there she is, upcoming. All right, guys. Well, as you know, this is where we move everybody over, which will be coming to the end in the next week or so. Only reason it's not, we probably would have did it this week if I wasn't out of town, but I hadn't finished doing what I needed to do, which next week I should be done with that. Then we should be able to move and be direct, exclusively on the DPS channel. So thanks for being with us. And if you see if you don't see it lead you over, just move over by yourself with the link.
Let me put the link in the chat now.
Yep, put it in there.
Remember when we couldn't put the link in the chat before?
Oh, because the channel wasn't favored. I mean, wasn't a member or not member, moderated.
Yeah, it was funny.
All right, everybody's moved over. That was funny.
All right. Let's give it a second for everybody to. Did you end your stream?
Yeah, I ended it. Well, no, I didn't end the stream because it's still going to Twitch.
You gotta end the YouTube stream.
I did.
That's what I was asking.
No, yeah. I ended that one. Yeah, I ended that one.
All right. Well, last topic of tonight is about Concord. Again, I feel like we talked about Concord probably for the past, well, not last week because we didn't have a show last week, but the last episode we talked about Concord. You still haven't played it, right, Forte?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, I've played it, and I played it in the closed beta, and I played it in the open beta that had some adjustments that I thought were good adjustments. As far as balancing goes, it's a hero shooter, so there's a lot of balancing needs to get done. And I think that I enjoy playing the game. It's fun to me. That said, this game is probably not going to be long for the world, even though I think it's fun. And I say that, as I was saying earlier in the podcast, that your personal preferences don't have anything to do with what the overall sentiment of a game is, what the overall gaming community feels about a particular title. Now, there's been a lot of talk and discussion about the design of Concord when it comes to the decisions that Sony and Firewalk made with monetization. And so this is the only hero shooter currently on the market, newer hero shooter that is charging an upfront price to get in. Now, with that upfront price, you are getting all the content that will come out for the game for free. You're getting unlocking cosmetics and stuff like that through natural progression, and there won't be a battle pass. And so all that was being discussed, and shout out to somebody who works for Firewalk that had a very nice tagline that I saw a lot of the Concord Pro Concord is going to be just fine, guys, saying about what was it? You play Concord doesn't play you, or something like that.
Yeah, I heard. I did see that.
Which is, that's a great tagline. Though it doesn't change the fact that here's the concrete data, and we don't have PS5 numbers, but we can take the decisions of Sony to kind of help us find where Concord is on PS5. Originally, the idea for Concord was for both PC and PlayStation 5. If you pre-ordered the game, you got access to the beta. Now, it's easily understood that the pre-order numbers were very soft, which is why on PS5, they changed it just mere days before it launched to go from you need to have a pre-order, you need to put up the money in order to get access to the beta, to if you have PS Plus, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, you have access to the beta.
Yep.
This was their way of trying to get more people in. And I believe if they had their own launcher at this point on PC, they probably would have did the same thing on PC, but they don't. So they didn't. And so we saw with the closed beta, it never got over 1,000 concurrent players on the PC version, which is, thank God they got crossplay. So that never really you didn't feel like it's taking too long to get into some action. It didn't feel that way because they had crossplay. But and I think the game is polished enough that their matchmaking system is tailored to making sure that they get people into matches quickly. That said, a lot of people were like, "Hey, well, there's an open beta coming. There's no barrier of entry to try it. You just install it and give it a shot." That would be a bigger determination of whether this game is going to be in trouble or not. Well, here we are. And the concurrent numbers on PC at their highest was 2,388 players. Now, if you're wondering how bad that is, Rogue Company, which is somewhat of a hero shooter, but more of like a hybrid hero shooter. Rogue Company, after it was already on its way down, finally joined Steam after being exclusively on the Epic Games Store through the majority of its popularity at the time when it came out. Rogue Company's peak is 11,000 players. That's literally 5 times as many players than we had with Concord at its peak on PC. Marvel Rivals, which their closed beta, not open beta, closed beta, with people still trying to get keys to get in. Their closed beta started Tuesday, I believe. Their closed beta was, I think its peak, and I'll double check it now, but I think its peak was 55,000. But I'll double check it real quick. That's more, we could safely say that is more than what Concord had combined with both platforms on both weekends, easily. 52,515 was the peak for Marvel Rivals, and currently right now has 29,000 people playing it. I don't see how anyone can look at this data and then with a straight face say, yeah, this game's got a chance to be successful at launch. Now, I'm not saying if Sony really gets behind it, is working with Firewalk, invested in the game, that it can't eventually turn it around, because we've seen this before. We've seen that happen before. We've seen it happen with Rainbow Six Siege. We've seen it happen with Fortnite. We've seen it happen with Sea of Thieves. Live service games, the intention is that they don't end. So if you're willing to stick it out and listen to what your community is saying about, like, or listen to why people are interested in your game, and implement the things that may take some time to actually go in there, yeah, man, you have a huge opportunity to really turn the game around. But I don't know if Sony has that level of dedication to any live service game.
Right.
Like if it's not successful initially, Destruction All Stars, they were out of the door with that one pretty quickly. I don't think they have that level of commitment to these kind of games. And so I just wonder, like, there've been calls to add PvE. There've been, which would seem to make sense considering that they put so much time and money into the cinematics that are going to be dropping on a weekly basis. That, if you're going to be really trying to develop the characters and story like that, why not have a PvE mode as well? I mean, these are things that people wanted from some of the big dogs in the hero shooter genre like Overwatch. And Overwatch, Blizzard failed to deliver that, so that you have an actual opportunity to kind of deliver on something that we don't see in the hero shooter genre already. But you clearly can't just do that like tomorrow, and then now there's a whole PvE mode, that's unrealistic. But are you willing to spend the time and stick it out until you can kind of get those things implemented, which would take years? I just don't think that's Sony's intentions. What are your thoughts about the whole thing, Forte?
Listening to you, it's like so many people are like, they're like literally, it's people rooting against this game. There's people that love the game, but don't really know how they feel about the longevity of the game. I think that's where you kind of fall. You actually like it. You just don't feel like, what's this game what's the staying power of this game long term? And I think that's kind of where a lot of people sit at, including myself. Like I told you, the day that they put the closed beta out, I was watching Persona play it, and I was like, yo, this actually looks pretty cool. But the thing that kind of doesn't, like, I won't say jive with me, it jives with a lot of people, is the characters it seems like they're just unforgettable. They're just forgettable.
They look like extras in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
The Galaxy movie, exactly. Yeah. It's like, it's all the people in the background that are blurred out, and all you see is like, they're extras, they're back there, but you can't even see them because their faces are blurred out because they're out of focus, because they don't matter. So that's kind of what this all looks like. Like, it was like a huge debate when we were talking about earlier. Like, people were talking about how the character development was done inside of Overwatch, and how Overwatch went out of its way to make sure that they made you care about the characters in the game, because they would release like a trailer a week announcing all the characters, and each character had its own story trailer built up to the game. But that was also the fact that Blizzard was in their bag back then. Also the fact that game was completely something different before it became Overwatch. So it's like the way people look at this game is, it's like, first of all, this is a studio making a game that has never made before. And
they never made a game as a studio, period.
Yeah, a game as a true. I was just thinking about that. I said, hey, they never made a game before in general. They don't get the same leeway as Blizzard making Overwatch, because even though Blizzard never made a hero shooter before, it was still Blizzard. Just like Riot never made a shooter before, because all they did was League of Legends. They get a pass, and people want to see what they're willing to do with Valorant, because it's League of Legends, it's Riot. So these other studios don't have the cachet built up with gamers to kind of make them feel like they want to be there to see it through. Like, only a select people will be like, I enjoy this game, I want to play this game. And let's be for real, most of this stuff is all tied to how well you play the game. Like, the people that play the game the best and feel like they can actually compete in the game, those are the ones that end up liking the game short term, even long term, because they feel like it's a game that they can compete with their friends in, especially the type of games that we're talking about now when it comes to, like, competitive shooters or competitive hero shooters and stuff like that. You want to win in those games. And if you're one of those few people that's good enough at the game, you feel like you can make yourself better or whatever, you're going to enjoy the game more than the person that just picks up the games like, this isn't Call of Duty, or this isn't Battlefield, this isn't Destiny. It doesn't feel like
there's a lot of people who don't know how to play a hero shooter.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, they don't know how to
play it, and then they get upset because, Look, I understand. Like, I agree with like they should increase like walking and running speed a bit, like movement speed a little bit. They need to up that up a tick. They need to some of the time to kill. The time to kill for each character is different. But they need to make some adjustments there because it's a little bit too long for some characters. There are things that need to be balanced, and I even with Marvel Rivals, which is far more popular, yet I tend to right now like Concord better. That game needs some adjustments and some balancing for characters too. Freaking Venom is OP. Like, I'm seeing people face tanking and killing entire squads with just Venom alone. Scarlet Witch as well. It's just like, yeah, like Scarlet Witch shouldn't be taking I mean, she's not taking damage, but like, you know, in a hero shooter, it is more important to work as a team, and there are inherent weaknesses to certain characters simply because of the class that they're in. If you're DPS, you're likely more of a glass cannon. Some of them will have like the ability to heal themselves, but you're not supposed to be like kind of taking as much damage as the tanks will, you know?
Right.
You're not supposed to be a better healer than the healers or the support people are, you know, like these kind of things. And we see these kind of levels of when it comes to hero shooter, like the kind of characters they have in Concord do that, but it's a bit different, you know. But it's still a hero shooter, and you still have to make those adjustments. And I don't know if those things aren't like the reason why people aren't playing the game. Clearly, because you would need to play the game to even know that some things need to be balanced, but there are people who aren't simply giving this game a shot, period. And they're not giving it a shot, I think, partially due to the price tag. They got, if it was, let's reverse it. If Concord was free to play, but Marvel Rivals was $40, less people would be interested or would be playing Marvel Rivals simply because it's not free to play and it's $40. But due to the fact that it's a popular, established IP, which is the Marvel superheroes, you would still have more people playing Marvel Rivals than Concord. You know, it's just, that's just the long and short of it, the way things are. It's also probably really a bad time to release this kind of game right now. Just with Overwatch is Blizzard's making changes to Overwatch. I don't know if you saw this recently, but Blizzard is reintroducing 6v6, which is something that people wanted.
They should have never took it away.
They should have never took it away, but it's what people wanted ever since they launched Overwatch 2. And so now they're giving people what they want because they see there's competition coming. I think they care less about Concord, but more about Marvel Rivals, which plays a lot like Overwatch. Like, I played with Star-Lord a lot in Marvel Rivals. Star-Lord plays like Tracer, just with worse cooldowns, but plays like Tracer, you know? So it's just like Blizzard's definitely making adjustments. And the same way Call of Duty did a bunch of free double XP weekends and double XP out of nowhere in the middle of on a Tuesday when X Defiant launched and got like 10 million people immediately playing. You know, it's just like you when you see this competition, you're gonna do what you gotta do to kind of like keep your community. And this level of competition for this genre, I think, is just not going to benefit Concord very well. You don't have the kind of characters that people gravitate towards, and although it plays well and it's fun, you gotta get people in the door to find out that it's fun. And I just don't think they have the ability to do that at this time. So I forgot what I was about to say. Do you have any intention of playing Marvel Rivals?
I do. After I saw you playing, and I was like, this actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
It's
mean, I'm not saying it's
okay.
gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a world beater, but I mean something that
Yeah.
every once in a while to jump in. It seems like a cool game to jump in with your friends every once in a while, just to pick up and play and stuff. It's not gonna. It's not a game that like tries to take itself too serious, but I can see how some people can take it serious. And plus, you get a chance to play with the Marvel superheroes and stuff like Spider-Man and everything. So I think that's pretty cool.
Blade X in the chat says, if I was Sony, I would have dropped Casanat a bag. And yet you look, Casanat's the biggest streamer in the world, so that definitely would have got the attention. But I think there's a difference between watching someone play a game and actually playing it yourself. I'm not saying every single person who plays Concord will find it fun. Like, that's clearly not the case, because we know people who did play it and didn't find it fun, and that's just how stuff works, in general. But I think they have kind of like, so RDC World, you know who the like Mark from RDC World and that whole crew, like $1 million, $2 million YouTube channels, huge massive platform, right?
Yep.
They did a sponsor stream for Concord. So they may not have been able to get Casanat, but they got a big, massive, like platform to play their game. And you want to know what was going on in the chat throughout that entire stream that they just tried to ignore because it was a sponsor stream, clearly a sponsor stream?
Yeah, what?
Their entire player live stream was just like, bro, play something else.
Oh,
stop playing this game.
Yeah, it's like we done with this game, bro.
Yeah, and so I mean, there are going to be people who aren't going to like it, but I think watching someone play is very different than it doesn't always work that way. You got to, some people need to put it in their hands and see if that they really like it or not themselves. And if you do play it and you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, that's what this is all about, playing games. And if you like them, enjoy them. If you don't, you don't. I like Concord. I will likely buy Concord when it comes out, and I'll play it until they turn the servers off. Which is, I played Rogue Company when it launched in beta, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I played it a whole lot. And I finally uninstalled Rogue Company like 3 years after it came out, because they stopped making content and they stopped supporting the game. When they stopped supporting the game, I felt no reason to continue.
Right.
Bleeding Edge. I enjoy Bleeding Edge, even though I had issues with the way Bleeding Edge. You okay?
Yeah, when you swallow and pause, it went down the wrong way. That's all that was. I'm sorry.
Okay, you didn't know whether you was about to kick it or not.
No, you can't go today. You can't go during the show.
Bleeding Edge. I enjoy playing Bleeding Edge, but they made zero changes from the whatchamacallit, the closed alpha to the actual full release. All the same heroes they had or characters they had, the same maps and the same modes that were all lacking, and with the same speed that was too slow. Everyone told them none of this was, you need to, like, the game's fun, but you need to adjust these things. And they never made any adjustments. And maybe they were just too small of a team, because there was only like 24 of them or something, in order to make those adjustments when people were asking. But hey, the long short of it, the game fails. And even then, I kind of feel like Bleeding Edge had more. Matter of fact, I'm about to go check. I think Bleeding Edge had more players at launch than what we're seeing from Concord with this beta. Or I don't know, maybe Bleeding Edge wasn't on Steam. No, it wasn't. It I think it was at launch, but its all-time peak was 1,400. But that's just it's when you see those kind of numbers, there's a reason for that. Yeah, when you see those kind of numbers, there's a reason for that. And nobody was saying Bleeding Edge is gonna survive and do and be great. Like, so I don't understand why people see low 4-digit numbers for Concord and think, hey, it's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, there is a problem. People aren't playing the game. And if you want people to play your game, you're going to have to make some drastic changes in order to get people interested. And that doesn't change the fact that, hey, you had a whole idea, to pay up front. We don't have a battle pass. All the content's free. All that's great. Nobody cares. When I say nobody cares, the vast majority of the gaming community does not care. So what are you going to do about that?
Mm-hmm.
You could, you're Sony, so you have the kind of money to make sure that you could go the Fortnite route and change the game, literally for the game. You could do that. Fortnite went from Fortnite Save the World, which was like a hybrid world building / survival game, to a battle royale. They made that pivot. Sea of Thieves came out with 0 content. And they made that pivot. They brought PvE in. They got more content. They got story-based content. They made deals with like Disney for Pirates of the Caribbean, which is a smart idea considering the IP and what your IP is. But all that's going to cost money, time, and dedication. Are you willing to do those things?
True.
So.
Well, that's always going to be the biggest point, is how is that going to play itself out over the course of not just this year, but just going forward. Like, so let me ask you this. Do you think with all of these different, these different games and these different scenarios, live service games, do you think we're going to hit a critical, because I feel like we already hit the critical mass of what live service is going to be, but do you think there's going to be another breakout game, that's going to usher live service another 3 to 4 years into the future outside of the ones that we already have?
Eventually, yeah. I think there'll be a game that kind of like really like pushes the envelope and takes its place at the seat where, with the Fortnites and the Valorants and the League of Legends and all those big, live service games. But it's likely going to be something that really garners the attention of the community. And it may end up being, how like with Fortnite, they took a mode, what was traditionally a mode in other games with more content, and they turned it into an entire experience. Well, PUBG did it first, and then Fortnite just did it better. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's what it takes, is taking something that is already somewhat popular of a mode in other games, and then expanding upon that, doubling down on it, and understanding what it takes to really deliver, being agile enough to deliver on what the community is looking for those kind of games. I just don't know what that is. If I did, I'd be rich right now. I'd be trying to get that game made so I can capitalize on it. But whatever it is, I think that would be the next thing. But we don't know what that is at this time, or who it's going to come from.
Dang, that's. Well,
shout out to Gregor in the chat. Shout out to K Asante, Enrique. How's it going, guys? Go ahead, man.
Look at the homies. What's up, homies, man? We missed you guys. How you guys been? No, so I do agree. I do think there will be another one. I just feel like I just feel like it's time for something else. It's like, as much as I like Call of Duty, I also want to see what does first person look like, post Call of Duty. Now, as an Xbox fan, everybody, I don't want to, blast her and say, well, Xbox just got Call of Duty. We don't want it to, fall and wafer or anything like that. I don't think that's the case.
Even Call of Duty had to do the pivot. What's the most played mode with Call of Duty every year? Warzone,
and they
the
had
battle
to pivot
royale.
themselves.
Yeah, that's not even the traditional Call of Duty. I don't play Warzone. I play the multiplayer. But the fact that the fact that that's the case, and shout out to Activision for finding a way to kind of like marry the two, so that this is what they're going to do with Black Ops, right? So they're going to come out, because we've seen them do this about at least a year or two already. They're going to do the campaign first. They're going to do a slow drip to make sure that people get maximized. They maximize the maximum number of people playing each of these modes. They're going to do the campaign first. In the campaign, completing chapters in the campaign will unlock you cosmetics for the multiplayer and Warzone and zombies. Then they're going to do the multiplayer after like a week or so. And playing the multiplayer will give you the weapons that you can use in Warzone. It's going to give you the skins. It's going to give you all the other stuff that you want. And Warzone will be the last thing that gets the update for the new season, for the new stuff. It will be because it's the most popular one. But they funnel people in, and you see it all. The reason why somebody who just plays Warzone, which is technically free, will buy the full price game is because playing the full price game gets them things they carry over to Warzone. Smart idea by their part. But like, yeah, when you see with the way the winds are going, you gotta make those pivots to keep yourself relevant.
Yeah.
And they've done that. I mean, Call of Duty HQ, which is basically all of it combined, all the different versions of Call of Duty and Warzone all in one mismatched piece of, I can't stand the UI, honestly. But like this disgusting UI with everything connected to it. But you gotta do that. The next big thing, though, I mean, who the heck knows? But one thing we will know, whatever that next big thing is, Epic is going to copy it, and Call of Duty is going to have their version of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, and if it doesn't work, they'll junk it like they did last year with Call of Duty DMZ. Call of Duty DMZ. I enjoy Call of Duty DMZ, by the way.
DMZ was actually pretty fun.
It was fun, but it was an extraction shooter. So extraction shooters got popular, and they added an extraction shooter mode, but it didn't work with the numbers, and so they dropped it. Third-person shooters are somewhat popular. Where they tried third-person shooter multiplayer and third-person shooter Warzone. It wasn't popular. They dropped it. They will. They all do this.
They take chances with it. That's the one thing I will always say they do.
When Battlefield 2042 came out, and with the big, huge maps, they were having tornadoes and all kinds of stuff going, natural disaster kind of stuff happening. What did Fortnite do?
They did the same. They put
they added tornado.
There's a giant tornado in the middle of the map, bro. I was like, what is going on?
No shame. No shame. But hey, look, if it works for you, might work for me too. Might even work even better for me.
Right, work better for me too. Yeah.
But if it don't work, I'm gonna drop it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean they always do this stuff, and it's like it's and I see people kind of make it seem like, oh, you're just copying other ideas. There's nothing wrong with it's about execution. It's not copying the idea. Like the First Descendant is not original at all. The only original thing, even though it's not really original, that it brings waifu energy to the looter shooter genre. That's about it. I mean, its systems are it's like 30% Destiny, 70% Warframe. That's the First Descendant. Does anyone care that it's not original? Nope. No one cares. People are playing it. They're having a ball.
Man, Storm looks angelic flying through the air.
I like using her. I wish they would buff. I think her main attack needs a slight buff, because I feel like I like how you can switch from wind to lightning whenever you want, but I feel like it takes a lot to damage, even other DPS characters. Where her ultimate's freaking amazing though. She just turns into a tornado and just can. Whenever half the time I do it, I do a team wipe on the other team. But like I like her, I like Star-Lord, I like Scarlet Witch. The 4 I played with, I like those. It's just they gotta get some balance in them with that game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, like you said, time will tell where we end up with these type of games and stuff. And Call of Duty. The one thing Call of Duty. My dad, my father-in-law, I got him Modern Warfare 3, and he was installing it, and he was. So once you get Modern Warfare 3, they give you the update. So now it's Call of Duty. It's the Call of Duty hub now. When you put it wasn't the hub before you did that. So now whenever he plays Call of Duty 3, he's like, what happened to my Modern Warfare 2? Where's my Modern Warfare? And I was like, it's on your dashboard. He's like, no, it ain't. It's this picture of Call of Duty. I was like, oh. I said, oh, that's the Call of Duty hub. All the games are accessible through that hub now. He's like, what do you mean? So he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, oh shoot, here we go. I'm gonna have to
changes will confuse people. Look, yesterday, was it yesterday or was it earlier today? I think it was earlier today. I played Halo Infinite. And I went into training mode to kind of just get, knock the rust off, because I almost feel like I forgot how to play. I've been playing so much, so many other shooters, X-Defiant, Call of Duty. They all play very differently, right? But so then I was going to play a match, and I'm like, I love the Team Slayer playlist, and I can't find the Team Slayer playlist. So I'm like, the heck did they take Team Slayer out? I understand the player base is small, but what the heck, right? You took Team Slayer out? Team Slayer? And I started doing research. They didn't take it out. What they did was they changed the way, but it on the surface, it looks like it's no longer there, because basically the way they had it set up before, you would just choose Team Slayer, and that's it. And instead of that,
now, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta kind of like it's the way Call of Duty does it and X-Defiant does it, where you have a kind of like quick play, and then you go in and then you uncheck the modes that you don't want in your rotation. And I saw that after I had already turned the game off, so I haven't gone back in to see exactly how they implemented it. I don't know if it's because depending, in Call of Duty, if you just want to do team deathmatch,
you just click team deathmatch and uncheck everything else.
Right. Whereas there are some games that will force you to have a minimum.
Oh yeah, and some games do.
And some games would be like you could only do 3, or no, you could only. What game was it? There was a game that only allowed you to have the minimum was 2 or 3, and I can't remember which game it was. It's been a while since I played it for certain, but yeah, I don't know if it's implemented that way, where if I want to play Team Slayer, I gotta also play, I don't know, King of the Hill or Oddball,
Sniper Zone or something.
Yeah, as well, and that's just that's when you make a major change Like you're gonna have, even if you communicate, I'm pretty sure they said it in a blog or something and communicated and everyone knew about it. I didn't see it and I didn't know what was going on. And my first initial thought was, y'all done did away with Team Slayer. So it's just, it's crazy. It's great. But you know, you gotta communicate those things. I just think, I don't know, like, to kind of bring it back to Concord for a second. Most people, like the community of people, they want to play this game is more than just the hardcore that are going to be looking at the PlayStation blog and seeing everything that follow the Concord Twitter account, knows all the ins and outs of things. There were things in the beta. I think when I was done with the beta, I was level 16. I had the character I played the most, Hamar, at level 10. I don't know how many hours I had in the game, but I had a lot of hours in the game. You know, I didn't even know that, like, people were telling me things that I had no idea. Like that if you choose a character and you have like some kind of passive active, if you choose a die and choose a different character, the passive from the previous character carries over to the new character. I was like, what? Really? I didn't know that. I mean, is that a bug? I don't even like, that might be a bug. I don't know. But like, I didn't know that information. They didn't have a training mode.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, the Concord beta doesn't have a training mode. So for a hero shooter where you got characters that play very differently, in Concord they play very differently. Like Hamar, who I mentioned, the best way to play her is to stay like vertical, stay floating in the air, you know, kind of like the way I played with Storm and the footage you're seeing with Marvel Rivals. That's the best way to play her, and to, you know, and understand that, you know, you got one shot, you got these little fire pellets and your crossbow, but you got one shot. So your fire rate's way lower, so you need to make sure your shots hit and your shots count. That's very different than playing as Tio, who is more your more traditional first-person shooter dude. He's got like a assault rifle. He's got a secondary pistol, which you just switch back and forth like you would with most typical first-person shooters. Not every character in Concord has a secondary weapon. He does. And he's got smoke grenades and frag grenades. Like he's like Soldier 76 in Overwatch, you know, who is your typical dude bro shooter guy, you know? So when you got characters that all play very differently, you should be allowing people to go into a training mode and just figure those characters out. Instead, in Concord, your way of figuring those characters out is to play them in match. And that's frustrating for people because people are less willing to experiment with a character where they're trying to get used to this character and other people are bodying them because they understand the character better than they do. You know, it's not that's not the best way to go about it. I could just straight up. That's not it. And Marvel Rivals in a beta has a practice mode. Every character that I decide to play with, I went into that practice mode, and you know, yeah, you could read the descriptions of what those characters do, but that's very different than actually playing as those characters. Like going in and then a description can tell you what a certain ability does, but then you actually go in and use it, and then you got a better understanding. Oh, well, the range on this isn't that big. Oh, this is the cooldown is very long on this particular ability. You gotta, yeah. I think they made mistakes. Crap. Am I back?
Slow-mo is gone. He'll be back very soon.
I'm back. What is going? I need to figure this out. What's going on with Discord? Because I've never really had this issue, and it just started doing this.
As soon as you cut off mid streak, I was like, Discord got him.
Yeah, it's just like, what? Why is it? I don't understand why it's happening, but we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But no, I hope the game is successful because I like playing it, and I want to play it until they start making content for it. But if no one's playing the game, that reality of they're going to start making content for it will come much sooner than than people think.
Than anybody thinks. Yeah. Are you playing on PC or are you playing on console?
I'm playing on PC. I tried it on PS5 and it was okay on PS5. It plays so much better on PC and it's well optimized. Like I played it at 4K, 130 frames per second, max settings. Play fine, looks good. I like the art style. Visually, it looks great. It's the characters look dumb, but is what it is.
Dumb.
But look, I played those hideous bleeding edge characters. I'm not.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain too much about it. But yeah,
I feel you.
We'll see what happens. But
when we go play some college football.
Whenever I decide to actually buy the game, I haven't bought the game yet.
Oh my god! You do get the 10 hours to do EA Play.
Yeah, I know. I use that.
Oh my god! he used the whole 10 hours and still didn't buy the game.
Yeah, because look, it's just so many games to play right now, man.
But there's only one college football game. It's been 10 years.
I know. I will get it, man. I'm gonna get it.
Whoa, we can go, and it is crossplay, so it doesn't matter where you buy it.
Well, yeah, I'm still, yeah, I know. Well, I'm whether I get it on Xbox or PlayStation, I'll get it.
Let's go. We need to go. We can get us a dynasty, online dynasty where we can, build our teams.
You can do that with people now?
Yes.
I'm so out of the loop now.
So listen,
I used to do that. I used to do that solo. Like I would build my own college. I'll create my own college. Blah blah university. Create all my players and everything, and then go through all the college seasons, and then export my graduating class, and then import that graduating class into the draft class for that year's Madden.
Yep.
Yeah. But you can that was a long time ago.
You can do up to 32 people. You can do you can make conferences. So like if everybody wants to be in the same conference, you can make your own teams, put them all in the same conference. You can put them in different conferences. You can make it so schedules play only conference schedules, how many conference games you play. Recruiting can be, you can even recruit in the dynasty against other people. Oh man, I'm telling you, man, that's gonna be lit. I wish I'd see this is the only thing about, I'm not going to say, the downside of particular communities. I don't know how viable or how many people in our community be willing to do it. I know there'll be a good amount of people that would do it, but I would love to go into that game and get a 15 team dynasty, put us all in the same
I don't think I used to do that when half a lifetime ago. I don't think I have I think I'm more at this point along the lines of just going into exhibition and choosing a college and just playing, matches here and there. I'm probably not going to go, start a whole franchise thing.
Yeah, it's cool though. Yeah, so definitely get it so we can at least play each other.
All right, I'll get it. I'll get it.
See who plays with the worst teams and wins.
What's the worst college right now to play with? University of Maryland? I can say that.
I think their prestige is like 3 stars or something.
Why? Oh my gosh, Maryland sucks.
I mean, compared to other places that are 5-star, I mean, that's a big difference. They're not JMU or like James Madison University. They're not them. Whoever that is. But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You ready to wrap things up? Anything else
man,
you want to say before we start the outros?
No, man, we'll be here with you guys next week. Gonna be a great time. Gonna have more information for you on the channel moving everything within the next week. So we'll have fun with that. And let's get these channel members out the way. Do you have yours up already?
Yep. So shout out to Stardust Acero, Legendary Yobi, J387, K Asante, Neil S, your boy Rory, Corey Hill, Donnell Brown, Enrique, Hargy Shani, Ramon Terrell, Game and Forte, and that guy Smitty.
Appreciate you guys. And on this side of the pond, we have Mass, Brat, Babes Ray Arcade Podcast, Corey Hill, your boy Rory, Donnell Brown, Ramon Terrell, Hargy Shani, the homie Slumber Backslap. Really appreciate you. And appreciate all you guys. We will see you for episode 190 next week. Let's hope that something else of significance happens over the course of the next week, because it's been pretty dead out here. Enjoy the games you're playing, enjoy family, enjoy just the rest of the summer, and we will see you guys then. Peace.
Peace.
Discord.